Welcome back to another episode of Inboxing. Inboxing, of course, is the email podcast, is the podcast of all about email marketing. And today we have a very special guest, Yanna-Torry Aspraki, who sometimes I like to call the Canadian geek freak. Canadian email geek freak, as you know, because Giannis is known as the basketball player Giannis. I don't know how to say his last name, but he's the Greek freak. They call him the Greek freak. But she's actually Canadian, and she's a great person. She's got a lot of cool experience. She's like a ninja in many ways, and I think she actually plays some instruments. Maybe I wouldn't be surprised. She's a very multifaceted, really cool person. And we're really excited to have her on the show today. So without any further ado, here is Yanna-Torry Aspraki. Yanna-Torry, welcome to Inboxing.
Hello. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to talk to you about email marketing and deliverability today.
For sure. We're really happy you're here. And without any further ado, let's just jump right in. So, can you tell us how you went from Real Ninja to Email Ninja?
Without doing a huge discourse on how amazing my mother is, who's the reason why I'm here today. Growing up, I wanted to do one thing. Since I was really young, I had seen a TV show or a segment about nanotechnology. So my whole life was in that direction. And when I went to CEGEP, because I live in Quebec and the school system is a little bit weird there, I was doing my physical science. I was ready to become an engineer. And I realized that if it's not like the movies, I wouldn't be like mixing potions and creating robots all my life. I'd probably be working in an office. And I was like, oh, maybe this is not the right path if I want to just, develop new technology. It's really, really hard, and it's very, very niche. It's it's a 1 in a million chance. And I had this amazing photography teacher. It was a very random thing, and he was also an engineer. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I should go back and do something that I also love when it comes to engineering. So I went and I decided, let's go become a developer. And my first official adult job was for this amazing Canadian company called Cake Mail. They are the second reason I'm here today talking to you about email, and I know everybody around me about email. They made me fall with email really, really hard. And I was sitting right next to the head of deliverability at Cake Mail, and I just fell in love. This was like a niche world. Nobody knows what we're talking about. I wanted to have his job. I was like, one day I'm going to grow up. He was like 20 years old. When I grow up, I want to be like Kevin. And today I am Kevin at another company. I didn't steal his job, obviously. I wanted to be like him. And that was it. I think everybody just falls into email by mistake. We kind of work for an email company. We realize how great and cool it is. And then we're just like, oh, that's what we're doing now. And that, I think, is the same story for everyone. So that's how it went for me.
Thank you for that. All right. What do you find upsetting in your inbox?
What I find upsetting is more of like the human side of things. We all have the same feeling, right? We go to a store, we buy something, they ask us for an email address, and then you're like, oh, again, I know what's going to happen. I'm going to give them my email, and I'm going to get 20 emails a day for things that I don't need. Like, I just bought a bed. If you try to sell me another one, I probably don't need one. So that's the most upsetting thing, because we all feel the same way. We go to a store, we don't want to give that email. But when we're on the flip side and we need to send emails out, we're like, no, we are the greatest people on the planet. Everybody wants our product. Everybody cares about what we have to say. Let's just send the same message to everyone. And it's understandable. Small businesses or medium-sized businesses might not have the resources to be able to create something that's very catered. But there are simple things that can be done to, attract the right kind of customers and get them to do actually what you want them to do. Just, people look at open rates and then they're like, yeah, I got a 30% open rate. Did anybody buy anything? No, probably not perfect strategy then, right? So I think that's what's the most upsetting for me. People, when they're on the send side of things, they kind of forget we're all humans, and they just think everybody wants the same message or everybody wants the message. And most of the times we don't.
Yeah, it's like when dealing with clients, you probably often hear this. I hear the word blast. You send a blast.
Isn't that our favorite word? Yeah, we should ban certain words. Yeah, no blasting. Yeah, no, dude, don't do that. That's not good.
All right. What was your biggest email mistake? I don't know if you've been in the side of the mistakes, but I mean,
Oh,
we've all
yeah,
made
who
some mistakes.
hasn't? Well, there was this meme going on yesterday in the Women of Email group, which was we all do our best proofreading after clicking on the send button. So I think everybody has done that mistake. That's 1000% sure. The other mistake, which I didn't know about because I'm a big avid advocate for authentication. I didn't know for a long while that not every ESP listens to authentication. And I'm keep telling everybody, authenticate your SPF, authenticate your sender email, and it's more of a suggestion for some ESPs. So that was my knowledge side of mistake, let's say. But we've all sent an email a little bit too soon, a little bit too late, uploaded a wrong list. We've all gone through that.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
yeah. Yeah, wrong time, AM, PM. These
Mhm.
kinds of, there's like a laundry list of
Yes.
email mistakes, really.
Yeah. So make
Yeah.
sure everything's fine, guys.
Yeah. What have you done? I've sent an email with no links in it. It was dead CTA.
Oh,
Yeah, it was for a tiny
oh,
list though. And it was like a 20-person send. So it was okay. But yeah.
yeah, I can
Q,
imagine.
QA is really important in email. That's what we learned from that.
Oh yeah, multiple
All right,
times, for multiple
let,
people.
let's go to the flip side of that. So what was your biggest email win?
Oh, I once had this amazing client at Cake Mail, and they were a nonprofit. And the nonprofit was about environmental causes. And the way it worked was in the real world was that you would do something and then you try to bring your friends in to do it and sign the little paper saying we all care about the environment. And at some point, they had no way of getting new people because the people on their list were people who had signed the papers. How do you get more people to sign? So they had a very limited budget, and I was able to, they had about 200, 300,000 signatures, and I was able to double it in one campaign. We did the same thing. We sent an email out with two buttons. One of it would kind of reply back to the email with a message that was already written by us or by them or together. And the other button would be just like sharing on social media. So a lot of people click to kind of forward that email to their friends. And then it would take the campaign, it would take the new message that we had hidden in that link, and people were sharing it and actually forwarding emails. And we doubled the amount of signatures with just one campaign. I thought it was really, really cool. I was very, very excited. It was like kind of a Hail Mary, You're emailing
Right.
people who've done the action you want to, and you're like, can you please make other people do it? And they did it. It was very, very cool. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah, wow. That I'm sure that was like a crazy exciting result.
Yeah, it's like it happened to me once. That was like insane. It was their first campaign, so we were really scared. They had a lot of, we're like, oh my god, we're gonna send some emails. We're not gonna land in the inbox. What are we gonna do? I was trying to like push them. Let's maybe send it in parts, so we can just like warm up that sender reputation. But they didn't want to. So you go with what the client wants and you try to make it work, and it did. So I was very, very excited. It was great. Best open rates and best engagement. That was like the truest form of engagement, right? Replying back to an email and forwarding it, and people forwarding it more. That must have just like the reputation of that domain just like flew sky high.
For sure. All right, let's turn to deliverability. Okay, so what are your top deliverability? I wrote /email because very often they're connected.
Yes. They're very, very connected, and we don't talk about it between us. We do talk about it a lot, but for people who don't even know that email marketing is an actual thing, they don't know, right? I have this strong belief that the big companies out there that everybody knows should be advocating about authentication measures, should be advocating about deliverability. It's not email. The last thing you care about in email is, and I'm not talking about the last thing as not important, the last thing in terms of a list would be content, would be making that list grow. The first thing we need to think about is making sure that when you're sending an email out, people are going to receive it, right? So we need to authenticate some emails. We need to work on that domain reputation. So bigger companies need to advocate a little bit more about it because they're selling things that sell. Beautiful editors, easy segmentation tools, forms. We don't advocate, hey, did you know that if you authenticate your email, people are going to receive it? Uh, what? You need to go in your
Right.
email messages and you know how to copy paste. Let's go. People would say, yeah, maybe email marketing is not for me. It seems too complicated. So it's normal that they're not selling it in a deliverability standpoint and more on a design part, which is fine. So for me, the first and most important thing to do is to authenticate the email. Even if most ESPs might not listen to it 100%, it shows that you're taking responsibility for the messages you're sending out. It's the same kind of idea as putting the address at the bottom of the email, allowing your users to unsubscribe. Authenticating it just proves that you're the one that's actually sending the email. So you're able to build a reputation based on that. And the only thing you can, which comes to the second point, you cannot send using a Gmail or a Yahoo. You need to use a domain. Only a domain can be authenticated. And very soon, different ESPs, the Googles and the Yahoos and the AOLs of the world, are going to be putting restrictions. So the only way to send an email using at Gmail or at Yahoo would be through your actual inbox. If you try and send it from an external tool, they're going to be putting DMARC in place soon, and then no one will ever receive the email because you are not Google. And if you're sending from outside of Google, it's going to stop you. It's a security measure for everyone. So those are the two first things: authenticate the email and use a domain. Soon you're going to have a problem. It's worth the $1 and or whatever the price is for your domain, but most domains are very, very low price. And you can use free things like Zoho for an inbox. So you don't have to pay for an inbox. You don't have to pay $15 with G Suite to be able to use your domain, and you can authenticate and prove to everyone it's actually you. Why not? Those are the top two things. The third thing for people who might not understand deliverability a lot, it's just be human, think logically. If you bought a new domain and the next day you're able to send to 1 million people, the internet will probably say, you know what, in 24 hours, what are the chances he's got 20 million people on his list? He probably bought a list. They probably, I don't know, scraped emails off the internet. So don't do that. If you use some kind of form of logic, it's going to help. And deliverability is also very well connected with engagement. The inboxes care about what people have to say. They do have spam filters and computers analyzing all the traffic coming in and out and saying, should this go in the inbox? Should it not? Putting a lot of exclamation points in the subject line is not the best idea on the planet, but it's not the reason your email is not delivering. There's, what does all the 18 plus websites do? Their email's still inbox, casinos, they still inbox. So if they can use all those, the do not use words list kind of thing in your emails, and they can still inbox, we can logically tell that might not be 100% of how deliverability works. So just a little bit of logic when it comes to human behavior is going to get you really, really far. If you don't like receiving an email, and that's the thumb rule here, right? If you can send that email to your mom and she's interested and not annoyed, it's an okay email to send out. But if you keep sending her 5 emails a day to read, she probably might say, I don't care anymore. Can you please stop? So if your mother doesn't want to read your emails, your clients don't. It's a very, very simple rule. If your friends don't, whoever you want to send that email to test, just don't send it out. I think it's an easy rule to follow. And the last tip is clean your lists. If people haven't opened an email in X amount of months, that last promotion is not going to work more. You either need to try and re-engage them, not try to send the same message over and over again. And if that doesn't work, just take them off your list, or if you're scared to take them off the list, put them a little bit on the side and try and retarget them with something that's a little bit more a sexier offer for these people. That's the best way to put it. Because those people that are not opening your emails are hurting your deliverability. It works with let's say very simply put would be percentages. So if 100% of my list is, 1,000 people, and I only got one person opening that email off all the time, everybody else, the ratio of people who care and don't care is unbalanced. And then the inboxes start to learn that, maybe people don't care about your brand. They don't care about what you have to say, or maybe you're just a little bit annoying. I don't know. So you need to remove the people that really don't engage with you so that you can show the inboxes that ratio is a lot higher on the positive side instead of the negative side of things. It's very, very important. The inboxes analyze everything.
How important is it if, I can tell you right now, I have a client that they have a lot of customers that are never opening emails, but they also have like, they get like 40% open rates, like very low click-through rate, but it's not always saying so much to click to. We're working on that. But but they still have like 20,000 people who just like haven't opened an email in at least 6 months.
Yeah, that's a problem. And also, one thing that is very important to understand is that those opens and clicks that we see, those percentages, they're not 100% true. Spam filters click and open emails, and that gets counted on our side. We've all seen the statistics where there's this couple of inboxes that are clicking on links 600 times. Like, your promotion is good, but not that good. And it's
I've seen that when you see like certain senders, that every link on your email is being clicked.
Yeah, right. So that's the thing. And to me, it's just even if you don't have the really expensive tools, it's a little bit of logic. No one really opened the email 50 times in the space of 5 seconds. Come on, guys. And it creates a problem because people are using those statistics to be able to create segments and then segment the people. And they might be segmenting people that it's a spam filter who opened and clicked and not the actual person. So, how do you make really precise calculations of who to send what if you can't even trust that metric to begin with? And that's why you need to take a lot of time. Email takes a lot of time, just like those, Instagram, people who become influencers, they didn't do it in a week and a half. And they're putting a lot of effort and they're analyzing things. And we're seeing the 10 pictures they posted in a week. And at the end of the day, they spend like 100 hours making those posts go viral. Same thing needs to be done in email, and even more. We're writing stuff, we're making people do things. We're not just making them feel an emotion. We want them to perform an action, like reply back or buy something. So yeah, maybe the metrics are not like 100% valid, obviously, because it's not possible technically, at least yet. You still need to put that in the time in. You can't just look at your open and click rates and be like, oh, it's good. It's 40% open. It's like, well, what if I told you 60% of that was wrong? And the worse the worse the reputation gets, the more the clicks and opens happen, the spam filter clicks and opens. And then people have this this wrong idea that everything is going well and it's going better. They're scraping lists off the internet or they're doing things, and the spam filters are actually creating issues for them. And then once the reputation is ruined, then everything goes back to really, really low. And like, what did I do? It was working last week, and this week I was sending emails and no one replied, no one did anything. And then it's like, yeah, that's what happens. So just be logical, guys. It's very, very simple.
All right. So the flip side of that is probably a lot of similar kind of stuff. But yeah, what are the biggest mistakes people are making all the time? Like,
randomly sending emails whenever they think about it. Wow, darn it, I have to send an email out. And it's normal. We don't have a lot of resources and time sometimes to think about, amazing things. So maybe reducing the amount of emails you send, send 1 email a month and to the people. And if you were writing 4 emails a month, and just make them, 4 for 4 groups of people, and then send them to the appropriate people, you're going to get a better return that way. It's definitely easier that way. And if you have a whole month, write the next email, you'd better be consistent. People need to expect things at a certain time. It's, like the YouTube, that this one guy you're following is shooting a video every Monday night and you're waiting Monday night for that video. Same thing for email. The people who care about your brand know when you're going to be sending an email, and they're going to be looking for it in their inbox. Make it easier for them to look for that email, So one thing, being consistent is not that amazing sometimes for some customers, and I understand why. It's logical. The other thing is, obviously, they're using a Gmail or a Yahoo as a deliverability person. I'm telling you, just don't do that. It's not worth it. You might think that people are receiving emails, but they are not. Don't use the Gmail and the Yahoos. Take the time to look at your bounces. We look at opens and clicks all the time as marketers, and we don't look at the bounces. And the bounce types can give you a really great indication of what is happening. So if you're bouncing because, the mailboxes are full, that's fine. If, email addresses don't exist anymore and they hard bounce, that's fine. But what if you see a bounce that says, hey, I don't know, Microsoft doesn't trust you, it doesn't accept your email because you have low reputation? That is a good indicator that there's a problem and you need to fix something. And nobody ever looks at, nobody. Most people, most marketers don't look at their bounce types and see who's bouncing and why. If you go in and you see all the Yahoos bounced, that's probably an indication that Yahoo has a problem with your domain, with your templates, high spam complaints, whatever the problem was. So it's very, very important to look at that. And people forget about it, and then it becomes a bigger problem. And then all these people are worth a lot of money, right? People on your list are valuable. You don't want to be losing them because you don't have visibility on what is happening on that end. And not cleaning your list or uploading lists that you find, you go on your computer or you get hired somewhere and you're like, oh, look at this CSV filled with emails. What is this? Nobody knows. Let's just try and email them. That is really not a good idea. Don't do that. Especially if you don't know where that list came from.
Yeah, it's sort of like if we could think of like old contacts, like old pizza. You find it in a drawer. It's like,
it's pizza.
Just don't eat that. Just don't do it.
Oh, it is crazy. And it, like, the logic part doesn't kick in sometimes until you have a conversation with somebody. Then a lot of times I talk to my clients and they're like, but it made sense because they're emails. It cannot just be random emails off the internet. It has to be some clients. And then it's like, yeah, but you don't know where they came from. What about I don't know.
For sure. No, I think what you're hitting on is like a lot of times, I mean, I'm sure you deal with the same thing, but like people feel like emails are theirs. Like they, this is my list. I built this list. They're mine. They belong to me.
I know everyone. Oh my God. Yeah. And it's really, really hard. And people need to, even us, we need to understand how spam filters work, how inboxes work really, really well so that we can, kind of go around it. Just like you hear all these, it's always like Instagram. That's always what my clients say. Oh, well, Instagram is easier. And I'm like, hell no, it's not easier. You're asking somebody else to decide when and if the content you're posting is important. And what are they basing that off? They're basing it off the people who, follow you or the people who like your pictures or comment on them. So if none of them like it, they don't show that picture, at least not very long. So why would we expect email to work any differently? 90% of the people you're sending to don't care about your email. The inbox is going to say, well, no one cares about that email. We've seen it. We've seen it in the inbox, right? That little line, hey, you haven't opened an email in 3 months. Would you like to unsubscribe from them? You don't want you don't want Google making that decision for you. Make it before they make a decision, because then you won't know who's receiving the email, who's not. The inbox rate that you guys see in ESPs is usually 99.9999% if the email could have been delivered. Does the email exist? Google can accept an email. Yahoo can accept an email. It doesn't mean because the email delivered to Google and Google says, yes, I got it, that Google is showing that email to customers. And that's the big problem. And I think that I answered one of the next questions. That is the misconception part. Emails you send don't always land. It's not because they exist that they will land. And just I don't know, just clean your list. Remove people who don't care about your brand. It's hurting your reputation a lot more than people would have expected to. And it's just, to me, it's logical. If you look at social media and you're using email marketing to market to people, the logic of social media is still there, at least to me. So if you can trust, you can trust that your image is so amazing that everyone's going to like it on Instagram, you should feel the same about that email you created and spent 3 hours building. It should be the perfect email that everyone's going to like and engage. And don't.
Yeah, but that's it. I think you're hitting on an interesting point that I never really thought about, but that people are so much trying to, to get into the algorithm, make sure their posts that they're actually posting are getting seen.
Right. But they never think about an email.
Right. Yeah. But it's the same thing. What are they looking for? Engagement. What do you need in your inbox? Engagement. It's
it's crazy. It's very logical to me. And when I tell this to customers, they're like, oh, I never thought of it this way. It's because we don't sell our products this way. The MailChimps of the world don't go around saying, hey, if you authenticate your email and you don't send emails to people who don't want it, you're going to make more money. It's all about how can I annoy everybody or put that message right in their face. It's like we're going back in the 1970s and, it was one poster and the same poster was put all across the world, all across the billboards and everywhere in the newspapers, and the same advertisement. People don't want that anymore. And the products are not working that way anymore because they're trying to give people what they want. And what people want is emails they care about, not the random message from a lawyer because you needed to sign an agreement with your, I don't know, for a house you're renting, and the guy's sending you emails. And you're like, why are you, I just, I don't care. I don't need a lawyer to be sending me random emails about random facts. If somebody was sending me emails about email laws, I would definitely open that email. So a compliance person was sending me updates about what's happening in GDPR or Castle, I would open that email. But if you're sending me law stuff about, I don't know, divorces or I don't care. It was nice. Thank you for helping with that paperwork 2 years ago, but I don't care about your email anymore. So yeah, it's very, very interesting. It's like the bed example. If I bought a mattress, how many more mattresses do I need? Why is it, I don't know, sell me some pillows, or how to take care of my mattress, or what happens if I stain it with a glass of wine and then I need to clean it. That would be an interesting email for me to get. Don't try and sell me another mattress. I got one. Thank you.
For sure. It's like I recently was talking to a company who basically just had like one product, an exercise product. And I was like, you really need to diversify your product. Because like, when someone's not going to buy the same pair of pants like 100 times. Like, get some other stuff. And they had great engagement on that pair of pants, but still, you gotta expand it. You're building a brand. Do it right, get t-shirts, get some headgear,
And people think it's so hard. Like, if you have a hard time writing content, trust me, 100,000%. There is somebody on your LinkedIn that's a professional, let's say, bodybuilder, or a guy who has his own gym that would love to write for you. And you just sign it. This is some random guy that really knows his things. And if you care about, your health and things like that, grab a nutritionist, ask them to write something, sign it under their name. They're not working for you. They're getting their name out there, and they're not competing with your business. A lot of people, like, that's how it works with me and you, right? You offer me a spot on your podcast. Hell yeah, I'm coming, right? It's the same thing with any other type of business. A lot of people who would love to be able to have a bigger platform to talk to. Go to LinkedIn, look through people that might have the same idea, that are going to help each other. If you can write content, you don't have to worry about content. You can tell them, oh, I don't like this, I don't like that. You can even ask people what you want, because you know your customers. You don't have to worry about writing your own content. If that's the big problem, trust me, there's a million people out there that want to be heard and have intelligent, relevant things to say. Ask them to do it. They'll do it for free. It's free promotion for them. It's the best way to do it. And I'm going to go back to Instagram. It's the same thing as asking those influencers, those tiny influencers. How do you call them? As you can see, like influencers. Thank you. I'm Greek. I should know this. Micro influencers. You pay them a little bit, and you kind of hope, because they're kind of related. They're not going to steal your business. It's the same thing, but for content writing. It's amazing.
That's a great idea. Love that. All right, so we've been shaming a lot of brands. So let's talk about. What do you actually like seeing in your inbox? Who makes you smile?
It's for some reason, somebody noticed it. April Mullen noticed it last time. She had asked me the same question, and every answer I gave had an educational purpose to email. So my favorite newsletter, other than Chubby's, which is an amazing brand, it's like the coolest brand. Their emails are the best. You guys should definitely check them out. You can definitely hear the employees' tone of voice through their emails. So Chubby's, they sell like swimwear and like very cool like summer clothing with a lot of patterns on them. Not my type of thing, but some of them are really cool. So maybe you'll see me in them next summer. But my favorite newsletter is called Not a Newsletter. If you're an email geek, oh my God, it's the best email ever.
Yeah. He's hopefully actually going to be on the podcast, hopefully in about a month.
Oh, wow. Tell him hello. I'm like a really far away stalker. I think he's like so cool. Oh, yeah. Yeah, one day I'm going to email him and annoy him. Like, hi. Not a Newsletter is the best. I get news, and I think I'm pretty on top of things. I do have between us, right? We share things with each other. Hey, did you hear about this change? And the community is small enough that we're able to do that. But he still ends up like surprising me. It's like, where do you get this information? It's ridiculous. It's very interesting too. I think it's like one of the coolest things ever.
Yeah, and he's a hell of a writer. Like, I think that's
Oh yeah, I love it. It's like 1000% my favorite newsletter. And sometimes I read, I'm like, oh wait, I had an article, and I don't know if it was in the Email Geek Slack channel, if it was in the Women of Email Facebook page. Where did I find this link? And every time, if I go in his document, it's definitely there. Important links are all there, and it's interesting to see the progression of certain things. So sometimes, he's going to put a link about something that's kind of new, and then a couple months later, that thing is, revealed, and he's talking about it a little bit more. It's amazing. I think it's my favorite newsletter. It's not a newsletter.
It's not a newsletter.
It's a beautiful Google Doc.
Yeah, exactly. It just sends it as a Google Doc. Like,
yeah,
it's
exactly.
just click here if you want to read the whole thing. Yeah.
But it's brilliant because that's what we need. If it wasn't an
then,
email, it wouldn't work.
It's a great point.
Exactly. So it's a perfect engagement. He knows that people are going to want to save it. I save every copy on my drive. I know now he has like the list of all the past issues. But yeah, no. Best email ever. You want to know what's happening in the email world, or you want to get started, just sign up to Not a Newsletter. And then whatever you don't understand, Google it. What is deliverability? Just Google it. What's authentication? Just Google it. Bimmy. And you're going to get down. It's like a YouTube, you fall into a YouTube spiral, but you fall into an email spiral. It's perfect.
All right. Anyone else? I mean, like, anyone more like broad, not in the email marketing, email geeks?
Chubby's is my favorite. I wish I could just share.
Okay.
All right. Chubby's my favorite email.
I'll have to sign up for Chubby's. Okay.
Yeah, they get my type of humor. And it's amazing. I can send you some. I'll send you some of their emails. It's amazing.
Okay, I'm amazed by some. I'm trying to actually get some brands like to just talk about the process of always making amazing emails. Like these brands that are just hitting home runs every time. Like, what does that look like in their building?
Yeah, exactly.
How far ahead are they planning these things to make that amazing email?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, looking forward to that. We're working on it. Anyway. Enough self-promotion. Here we go. All right. So yeah, we were talking about this before, but so what are people always, screwing up when they think about deliverability?
Oh God, a lot of things. The biggest misconception, like I said, is everyone's going to receive the email. If the email address exists, they're going to get it. And that is unfortunately not true. If people unsubscribe, it's bad. No, it's not. Unsubscribe is actually a good thing. A spam complaint is not. So if you were to choose between which one you'd want, an unsubscribe is better. A person is just saying, I don't care about your business anymore, or I don't care about your products, or I don't need your emails to go and purchase your products. A lot of times that's the case. In Canada, we have Walmart. I am gonna go back to Walmart. You don't have to keep sending some emails. If it's interesting promotions, fine. If it's interesting promotions of things that I buy, perfect. If it's just some random things about, I don't know, do you need some diapers? No, I don't have kids. I don't need to buy. I don't care if the diapers are on special this week, or a lot of weird things like that. So the first misconception is not everyone gets that email, even if you think it is. The second one would be the idea that every email is important and it's hurting you. The more you send emails to people who don't care about your brand, not in terms of bounces or even spam complaints, just people who don't open or engage, it's actually hurting your deliverability. And Gmail is the person ahead of the game, and they really care about human behavior. They care about what people have to say. They trust a lot their spam filters and all the processes that they have. But one thing they really care about is what humans have to say about your email, and they're going to make their opinion of your brand and your strategy on that. So if humans don't like or don't engage, they're going to stop showing that email. They're going to put it even more in the promotions tab. That's another misconception, that the promotions tab is going to make you lose sales. That is not the case. Maybe not for all businesses, let's be real. But if your email is a promotional email,
yeah, I'd say probably more money.
What's the problem there, guys? Because we all feel the same way. Like, I don't know for you, but back in the day when everything was one column, every time I'm looking for I know it's so long ago. Every time I'm looking for an actual email of my client, I have to dig through all these marketing campaigns, and then I have this negative feeling building towards these people that are sending me 5 emails a day that I don't need. And now they can email me as much as they want. They probably shouldn't. They definitely shouldn't, but they can because it's separate. So I don't have this negative feeling of, hey, you're really annoying me. I'm looking for an important email in my inbox and I cannot find it. And when I want something, because the promotions tab, Google does it very well. It's like colorful, like, hey, you haven't seen your emails and all your tabs, and it tells you in your face you have to do it. I go and I look, and I'm not annoyed, because if your emails are 20 times, I don't even look at the date anymore. I'm just like, oh, this is interesting subject line. Ooh, this one's really interesting. Let me open it. I don't really look at the time. Did they send it 5 in a day or 5 in the course of a month? I don't know. I don't look at the time anymore because I'm not annoyed. the promotions tab is not going to hurt your business, or at least it's not going to hurt most people's businesses. People
I would
don't
even say,
Yeah,
I'd even say probably more money is made in the promotions tab than any other tab,
Yeah.
because that's where people go to shop. That's it.
Exactly. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, let's keep going. So everyone's talking about this thing, Bimmy.
Oh,
I think you're a part of that. I think you're on the Bimmy team. So
no.
Now you're not. But do you know about Bimmy?
One day. I am on the Bimmy team as like the team. I'm definitely not a Matthew Vern Hood. That's definitely not who I am. Not yet. Aspiring to be. So I'm a big advocate for authentication. Prove to everyone that you're actually the one sending the email, and start building a reputation. So Bimmy is the fourth, let's say, in line. You need to have all the other three in place first. But Bimmy, the best way to say it to everyone, and it's the example I use, is like that little checkbox you see in Twitter or Instagram that proves that you're the actual brand. And everybody works really hard to be able to get that in place. In email, it's a little bit, it depends what you mean, what people think is easy, but it's a little bit easy because it's under your control. So I think that's easier. If I can control when it appears, or what I need to do in terms to make sure that it does appear, then that's amazing. On Twitter, you kind of hope that somebody on the Twitter side is gonna be like, yeah, this guy's popular enough to put the little checkbox over there. And I think it's very interesting, because now when you send your emails and you have good engagement, which you have to have a good reputation for it to happen. You don't have to have a big reputation to have a good one. When you send out an email, in most new inbox providers, you will see the actual official logo. So if you get a fake PayPal email versus a real one, the real one will have the real PayPal logo, and a fake one will have absolutely like the P or whatever you see in Gmail, the little letters on the side. So it's very interesting, because when people are going to get emails in their inbox, all those colors are kind of dull Gmail colors, for example, and now yours is going to pop out because you have your logo. Sorry, I'm looking for the word logo. I said it 20 times and I was looking for it. So I think it's going to be really, really interesting to see.
All right, thank you for that. All right, so you mentioned these a bit, but like DKIM, DMARC, SPF, how do you go about setting these things up? Like, I know that you mentioned they're super important. Like, even small brands, you think should be doing them? And what is the absolute way to actually set it up? Like,
okay, so what you do need is you need a domain. So your business's domain is the first step. Go to GoDaddy or whoever your favorite DNS hosting provider is, and just buy a domain. The second thing you need to do is ensure that with MailChimp or whatever you're using, CakeMail, FlowMailer, you name it, that you're going to be confirming that email inside, and then you will be asking the system to give you the SPF and the DKIM. And then it's a really hard task of doing copy, paste at the right place in your DNS. And I do this for free, actually. So if you are a small business and it's a little bit too hard because you don't know how the DNS works, shoot me a message on LinkedIn. I will do it. I want to authenticate the whole world one day. If I could do it, I would. I just need access to all of your GoDaddy accounts, which is not easy. So the easiest thing to do would be to download that little document that CakeMail, FlowMailer, and MailChimp gives you, or copy paste it in the email and just contact GoDaddy directly and tell them, and I'm getting a million messages, and contact them and say, hey, I don't really know how it works. Would you please be able to, update my DNS record? And they will do it for you. And if you don't even know where to go into CakeMail to get the authentication, contact support. Ask them, hey, I would like to authenticate this domain in my account. Can you please give me the entries? They will send them to you. You take that email, you send it to your hosting provider. You say, hello, please, can you help me? I need to do this. I don't know what it is. And they'll do it for you.
Wow.
And then you're done. So you can even make other people do it for free. You're paying these people anyway. Might as well do it. And if not, you can always contact me and I will do it. It takes 5 minutes, and I will spend the 20 minutes it takes to propagate, to explain to you random facts about email that are going to help your business. So you get a 2 for 1.
Why are there 3 of them? Like, is it just they started with this one and that wasn't enough, so then another one and then another one?
There's different reasons. So one proves that you're the owner of the domain, so that pleasetemailYou.com is mine. And when I connect that to Google, so I can send personal emails, That's great because that's the connection I did. But now I'm using, I don't know, FlowMailer to send some emails. FlowMailer doesn't have the same IP addresses as Google. So Google and the whole internet knows that emails from Police Melu need to come from this inbox. Why are they coming from an IP in the Netherlands? That doesn't make sense. So when I go in and I add more records, I'm saying, hey, I'm giving permission for FlowMailer to be sending emails using my name and my domain name or my branding. So when the internet receives these emails, it's like, oh, okay, she gave permission to this tool to send emails. So that's all nice and great. DMARC is the one where, hey, if somebody's pretending to be me, or if, for example, I move from FlowMailer and I move to, I don't know, CakeMail, and I forget to update, hey, I was giving FlowMailer the permission to send emails, now I'm telling CakeMail to do this, and I forget to change it. What DMARC will do will send you like a receipt by email saying, hey, an email with your brand, your domain name was sent using these IPs. Okay, and that's it. So now I know. And when I get the report, I'm like, oh, darn it, I forgot it. The other thing it does is because it reports any email that's being sent out without any type of SPF or DKIM that's passing correctly, it will let you know, and you get to decide as well what you want to happen. So you can say, you know what, just send me a report, that's fine. You can say, send me a report, and well, the report always comes in, but send me a report and put the email to spam. And you can also tell them to reject the email completely and say, send me a report, and I don't want anybody to see it, not in junk, not in the inbox. So that's the best thing in the world. And then once you have all those three things, you can start working on Bimmy. Bimmy is a little bit complicated. You do need to have your logo, registered. They're still figuring out how it's going to be for smaller businesses because most businesses don't have a registered logo. So yes.
Oh, thank you. That was awesome. All right. Okay. This is a little bit moving away from that, but like, how does being a karate master inform your career? What have you taken from that world and applying it here?
Martial arts gave me a lot of things. I've been doing it for a really long time. How old am I? So for 26 years, actually. It's all due to my amazing mother who pushed me to become a better person and to continue things when things were hard. Because no kid wants to do, I don't know, every kid, people live in the present. So if I'm happy now, I don't want to get dressed to go to karate class or dance class or whatever. And my mom worked really hard to make sure that I would actually, stick to things. And until I became to an age where I stuck to them on my own. So martial arts.
Can you tell us where you got to in that world? Like, are you?
I got my black belt when I was 7. So 6th-degree black belt. Yeah. My sister's same thing. We're 6 years apart, and she has the same belt I had when I was her age.
So did you fight when you were like 9? Like
yeah,
like blood sport? Like
yeah, it was Shirin-ryu. It was a Japanese karate type. So yeah, it was very, very very cool. No, but it was great to be able to be around people that the first thing I learned was finish what you start. You have a lot of these stories where people are like, oh, I did karate. I don't know why I stopped. I liked it. And it's like, yeah, you probably know your parents until they're like, fine, it's over. And my mom is a saint who made me stick to things because she knew I liked it. Going to class was difficult. Doing it was fine. I was with my friends. I was doing something I loved.
It's like a lesson in general. Like, I don't know if you follow like Atomic Habits and stuff, but like a huge thing is just go to the gym, then go home. Because the going is like the hardest part. Once you go, like, okay, then you're in the habit of going. So yeah, you're absolutely right. So awesome. All right. Well, thank you for that really interesting bit. Yeah. So start what you finish.
Yes.
Finish what you start. Probably discipline comes in there also. We always talk about discipline in karate, no?
Yeah. It's a lot of discipline, and karate is not about fighting everyone you see. Karate is actually knowing when to fight with people and not not fight with everybody you see. To be able to put yourself outside of the situation, be able to communicate correctly, and only resorting when it's about protection or the regular things. Martial arts doesn't make violent people, and video games don't either. People can be violent, or not martial arts, not because you know how to kick somebody's butt that you're going to go around and just kick everybody's butt, right?
All right, cool. Well, I'm giving you the floor now, and you can just talk about whatever you want.
Oh, I'm actually the first thing I'm going to be talking about. You guys want to walk around the office someday? My laptop's going to die. Bad management on my part.
Oh.
So if I'm going to be talking about email, the first thing I'm going to talk about is actually taking the time to Google a lot of the interesting things. Guys, you can join my podcast while I take my laptop. Hello. This is the amazing office. Oh, come on. Okay, it's working.
Oh no, we lost internet. All right. Yanna-Torry, she probably moved and she's probably connected to a different network or something, but she'll probably be back in a minute, I assume. She saved her laptop in time. She's still connected, but I'm not sure exactly what's going on. But I'm not sure who's watching. But if you want, you can comment, and then I'll see who's there, and I'll say hello. Would love that. We're just finishing up here. But yeah, we've had a great interview, and it was a lot of fun. I'm just going to give it a few minutes for Yanna-Torry to show up again. Thank you. Thank you for watching, whoever's been watching. Really appreciate it. And again, if you want to comment, let us know if you have any questions for Yanna-Torry, go ahead, leave a comment. We got a comment. Let's see what we got. Tom Flow Mailer, you got a shout out. Did you hear it? She mentioned Flow Mailer. I'm gonna keep waiting. So great to see you, Tom. Maybe you could shout across the hall and say, see how she's doing. I know you're not really across the hall. You're probably about I don't know, like 100 kilometers now, like 50 kilometers away, 100 kilometers. But we had a really fun, really interesting podcast. It looks like Yanna-Torry is back and better than ever. All right, so without any further ado, let's continue the podcast with Yanna-Torry.
I'm just running here. Go. I did not see that we were talking, and I did not see that battery go down. I did not think it was going to go down in an hour. What's wrong with you guys? Apple, it's fully charged. Hello again. So if I can just talk about email, I can talk about whatever I want.
You can talk about whatever you want. You have the floor.
I have the floor. Okay. I don't know. What if we do we can do a deliverability kind of audit, things to check, like a checklist. We're
nice.
talking about deliverability. Let's give people an idea of what they should do. So first thing to check, make sure that sender email is authenticated. Okay, I cannot state it enough. Please do it. Contact people to do it for you if you cannot do it, or just message us. We will definitely help you with it. The next thing I would definitely do is go see if that email list you have is stale. And I don't mean does the email exist? Should you put it in a list cleaner? List cleaners are there to help you maintain, reduce the amount of bounces and certain things, but they don't fix the problem. So if you're buying lists or you're scraping emails off the internet, they're definitely hurting your reputation. So do a little audit and look at the people who haven't opened an email in the last month versus the last 6 months, and check, are those the same people? That will give you a good idea of what people are caring about and what they don't. And if you were to segment people, what I like to do is that I create I export a list of all the campaigns people are doing, and I'm categorize them. So this is a promotion, this is a sales, this is shoes, pants, whatever the categories are, and create a segment for each one and see, because sometimes we don't create the emails thinking ahead that we're going to have the segment. So just create these fake filters, let's say, and these are pants, this is women, this is men, this is just geared for kids or whatever, and segment people and see, are people overlapping? And if people are overlapping and they're opening everything, great. You're the type of business where everybody wants to see every message. But if you see that, oh, look at this, these people tend to open all these emails, and these people tend to not care about those emails, they want other emails, offer to them. All these amazing tools offer preference centers. Ask people what they want. If you're going to a pharmacy, lady perfumes might not be interesting for you, and so on and so forth. So being able to categorize based on what you already sent also helps because people will know what to expect as well. And then focus on things. Sometimes I find these really cool things where people create these like fake segments just to look at the data, and there's certain types of campaigns no one cared about, or like very low amount of people care, and they're like, oh, we spent so much time doing the research and writing amazing content and copy, and then after all, people, no one cared. Stop sending that email. You're putting so much effort into it. That's not what people want to hear. They want to hear the, I don't know, 90% off coupons. If that's what people want, that's what they want, which is another thing. Oh, that's a really good tip. I didn't even say yet. If you keep sending to your customers the same promotion over and over again, there's no fear of missing out. If people don't have the money to buy it this week, they know there's a coupon that's going to come up next week. So sometimes people are just going to save the email thinking that they're going to buy it next week, and then, oh, look at that, a new promotion comes in. It's the same promotion. If your promotion is running all year long, it's not a promotion anymore, and people will figure it out if you're sending them emails every week with the same promotion. If not, look at the content, do some tests on different inboxes, just sign up. I mean, Yahoo and Gmail and all of these are free. Send an email to yourself and see, does the email look good? Does it get cut off? Does it get truncated at the bottom and you have to click on show more? When you receive the email in your inbox, is the call to action 10 scrolls lower, or are they at the top? And does your subject line go with that call to action? If you're like, hey, amazing promotion, and it's like, look at our new product. It's like, what? No, where's the promotion? And it's written at the bottom in teeny tiny letters. People are not going to be happy. They're going to open the email, they're going to look for it, and they're not going to see it, and they're just going to leave. They're not going to look for that promotion unless, I don't know, maybe the promotion is really good, but human behavior would indicate otherwise, that if I cannot find what I want in 2 seconds, and what I wanted was for half a second, I wanted it, right? It was what I wanted because I saw your subject line. I didn't go in my inbox looking for that promotion, but oh, you caught my eye, and then I got disappointed. That's the worst thing you can do, make people disappointed. So if you're going to talk about something, keep it really simple. One thing is enough. For most businesses, one thing is enough. They're selling you shoes, sell them the shoes. It's very simple. And it helps. You can fix deliverability with strategy. You don't need expensive tools to do things. You need to remove the people who don't care about your emails. You need to send people what they want to receive. It's just simple math. At least to me it is. And also your open rates are going to fly. I mean, that's real math. If you reduce the amount of people you're sending emails to, and you're only sending emails to the people who want it, your open rates are going to grow. It's just, math. Percentages go bigger if the volume goes lower. So it's really good. And you're showing the internet that, hey, look, 50% of my list cares about my emails, not 2%. It's just normal to me. Email. But what's your favorite thing in email?
My favorite thing in email is, there's a few things I love, but segmentation, because it works.
Oh, yes, it does.
And automations, because you could keep tweaking them and just make them better and better and better.
Oh yeah, automation is a great way to maintain reputation. Just like in the last year, right? There was a lot of automations that people forgot about. That was like a big thing last year. These it was like the automated happy birthday emails, and like, oh, come in and you'll win a free ice cream. And it's like, the store's closed. I can't get my ice cream or whatever.
Can't leave your house. Right. Yeah, travel companies, welcome to thing. Oh, we have vacations to here and there, and you have nothing. Nothing's going on.
I know, it's crazy. So look at your automations. That's another great tip, actually. Just review them and see if they're still relevant. Yeah. It was a crazy year last year for email. But I don't know for you, but for me, my clients finally realized the power of cleaning your list. It was very obvious to them. And, with Black Friday starting like 10 years before it usually does this year, the whole month, and October was a Black Friday, I really wonder, most of my clients, the clients who were, started Black Friday in October, didn't actually make more money, or actually I think made less money than they did. Well, their targets would have been. Obviously, compared to the year before, things were different, but their targets were really low, and the people who were a little bit more specific and cleaned out their lists and waited for the right moment to send an email instead of just pestering people and reminding them their business existed, outperformed their previous year, actually. So it was very, very interesting. It's not really a case study at this point. We know this, but it was very interesting to see the client side kind of realize this on their own and pushing a little bit less when it comes to, hey, we should clean your list again. You send, an email or two a week. The 3-4 months have passed. Let's recalibrate everything. And the businesses who, was like, what, it's COVID. Let's just whatever you say, Yanna-Torry, let's do it. They actually made they made a lot more money than they did the year before because they took the time to step back, think about it, because now everybody was thinking about it, right? How can I be empathetic? How can I make sure I'm targeting people who have money? How can I make sure people who don't have money at the moment don't hate our brand forever? What do we do? So the people who really took the time to think about it, and what they thought about, the outcome was just best practices in email. That's what they themselves came out with. They reinvented best practices. And I was like, haha, for all these years, we've been telling you the same thing. It was blog posts and, we're all saying the same message. So it was very, very interesting to see them. They kind of just reinvented. They're like, oh, did you know? And I was like, yeah, I knew. You remember the emails I sent you about it? This is what you should have done. And now you're doing it. And it helps. It works. People were inboxing better. People were, the human behavior was perfect because people liked the messaging. Everybody hated them in these difficult times. In these difficult times last year, oh my God, it was in every single email. We kept making bets of how many of those sentences we're going to find in our inbox in a week. And that was a lot from a lot of different brands and always the same thing. And Prada is good, but in Canada, for example, we were very lucky. People who lost their jobs or had needed help got help from the government, and those people ended up buying things that they couldn't purchase before. So not like crazy things like TVs. I mean, definitely some people did, but things to better their health. So a lot of different things. They were like, I never had the money to, I don't know, buy a $10 bag of frozen fruits every day because I want to make a smoothie every day. It costs a lot of money at the end of the month. And now they did. So the marketing of what people wanted shifted, and they took care of themselves a little bit more. So that was an amazing industry to follow last year, all the wellness, yoga pants, stay at home kind of exercise. It was very cool to see them grow so quickly last year. And the strategies were different because they weren't trying to be empathetic. They were trying to make sure everything's okay.
Be helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Okay.
it'd be amazing. I'm getting the little, we need the room.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. That was the best freestyle session we've ever had on Inboxing. So congratulations. That was awesome.
Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah. My friends are going to be like, yeah, that woman doesn't stop talking about email marketing. Email marketing was like, I'm going to start a religion at some point.
Yannaism.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. No, emailism. Email. No, it's not about me. It's all about email.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm going to wrap it up.
Thank you for having me.
We'll see each other on Monday probably at the Inbox Expo. Yeah.
Yes. Join. Buy tickets, guys. There's still some tickets left. Come learn a lot of things.
Big event. I'll post links. All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you. See ya. Bye.
And that's our show for today. Really hope you enjoyed the show. And if you did enjoy the show, please subscribe and rate us on Apple Podcasts and leave a review. And that's it. Big thank you to Yanna-Torry Aspraki for being on the show today. If you'd be interested in being a guest on Inboxing, just send me an email at hello@hillelberg.com.